Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Hogan and welcome back to another Draft Today video. So we open our first pack here in our 665 draft. Our uncommons this pack are a little bit mediocre. Spiritbound Vicar did a little bit of work in one of our previous drafts, but it can be kind of difficult to get going on the Sockets archetype, so I don't like to commit to that right away. A True Art Skirmisher is playable, but I don't think it's anywhere near first pickable. There aren't any quality pieces of removal in this pack either. At common, there's no Butcher, there's no Chastise. Tranquil Seed Hearts is just a very powerful card individually, just like a 5-cost 3/5 that's quick, so it can ambush something, and then when it turns into the Wrathful Seed Heart, it can start drawing you some cards, so I think we're just going to go ahead and pick up our rare here. The thing that's important to remember is that this by no means is a commitment to these thresholds. You know, we're just, if we get other wild seems open, we will definitely move into it, but we're definitely not looking to force this card. Wow, as we get past one kind of mediocre pack into a second kind of mediocre pack here, there isn't any removal in this pack either. Their only wild card in here is Turbulence, which I am not particularly interested in playing. The rare is still here, and it's not great. It is a copycat. We're definitely never playing this in Limited. Yeah, what do I even want out of here? Blindside's kind of playable, I guess. Both of these coins are playable. I think I'm going to grab the Iotachi coins, actually. And that doesn't sound super exciting, but yeah, if we end up in Ruby, we'll definitely play an Iotachi coins. As we get past a pack here that's got a bunch of good blood cards in there, two pretty reasonable blood cards, and one rock slider here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the rock slider, and it's the only good Ruby card in this pack. We'll see how this goes. Only two people have taken cards out of here, so this definitely cuts Ruby going to the way we're going. We already picked up an Iotachi coin, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. No commitment by any means to anything. We're just kind of getting a feel for what's going on here. See if I could force a rock slider deck for another day. Hopefully this next pack has some actual good cards in it, unlike these first two that were super weak. Aggressively mediocre booster packs. Aggressively mediocre booster packs. Alright, and then this pack we get a few different pretty reasonable cards. We've got a Furious Blitzer here that this is okay, definitely not pickable at this point. Fire Soul Gemsworn's the best uncommon here. It's a 3/1 that summons another 3/1 when it comes into play, and this is socketable. So in Ruby we can put Valor on it. It's really good with Diamond because you can put Flight on it in Diamond. Also a Boisterous Ballad in here that's pretty reasonable. Conscripts and Ardent Trooper cost 2 and gives it speed. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Fire Soul Gemsworn just because it's the uncommon in here. I also wouldn't hate taking the Cloudbounder, but I'm not sure I want to try and start picking up cards from a third shard at this point. Okay, sweet. So we've got an Iotachi Cavalry and another Rock Slider in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Cavalry out of here. This is a really powerful uncommon in this pack. It's 2/2 for 2, and when it's Valorous, it can't be blocked by non-Valorous troops. Hopefully the Rock Slider wheels out of here. Like, we haven't really been passing any good Ruby cards, so people shouldn't be in that. I'm grabbing the Cavalry because this is a card that's powerful enough to move into Ruby if you've already got a couple other Valor producers, so I'm going to pick that up, as opposed to the Rock Slider, which is more likely to wheel, I feel, out of that pack. So people are going to need 8. There's going to be 7 more picks out of that pack, so when that pack makes it back to us, it's only going to have 5 cards in it. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the Rock Slider is going to be gone out of it, but I wouldn't expect the Cavalry to make it back around either, and I kind of want some quality 2-drops in our deck. I'm just having a family party over here. Family draft party, yeah. Alright, so this pack doesn't have any Ruby cards in it other than the Scraptooth Gnasher. And we passed the Nasher earlier.
That was really mean.
We passed the Nasher earlier, but I don't know that I really necessarily want to move into Nashers and Rock Sliders. There's a Shackling Strands and a Butcher in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Shackling Strands just because Sapphire tends to work with the Rock Slider and Ruby cards a little bit better than Blood does on average. There's more Ardent troops in Sapphire than there are in Blood. There aren't too many Ardent Blood troops. Well, and then this pack we got so everyone at the table, this pack has seen everyone except for one person at the table, and the Surging Wildfire is still here. And we've got our Tranquil Seed Heart that we picked up, pack one, pick one. So let's just go ahead and grab that Surging Wildfire, and let's hide this Shackling Strands for now. And we'll, have I ever drafted? I'm actually going to look at my list. I don't think I've ever drafted Ruby Wild. Huh. Alright, well, we'll see if the, Surging Wildfire came around that late. Maybe we can get a second one in the second pack, and that would be insane. This card is very powerful. As we look here, this is the last new pack in this set. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Ashwood Minstrel here. So 1/3 for 2 that can make one temporary resource one time. And that can accelerate us into Surging Wildfires on turn 3, which is very powerful. It's also another Ardent troop for our Rock Slider. One thing to keep note of here is that we have 3 really fairly powerful cards in Rock Slider, Surging Wildfire, and Tranquil Seed Heart, but all 3 of these are unaligned, so they're not Ardent if we wanted to play something like Marzul. So we get our first pack come back around to us here. The True Heart Skirmisher is still here, and now that we've kind of moved into Ruby, this is a plenty reasonable card. It's got... Was there a Scrap Tooth in there? Yeah. Maybe. I mean, if... You should have been quicker. I already picked that up.
But maybe you're not lucky and you wouldn't see anymore.
You're not wrong. See, that's one that usually goes really late, is the Scrap Tooth Nasher. Nothing super exciting in here. The Distract is definitely here. I think I'm going to grab the Necropolis coins, though, because I'm 0% to play this Distract, and the Necropolis coins are going to go in someone else's deck if they draft them, so I'm going to go ahead and just take the playable out of the pack.
Wow, you early picked the Entaucher.
Yeah, we second picked it. The first 2 packs were, like, really rancid. Nothing too exciting in here. Failroot Tactics is actually pretty decent because Rock Slider gets crushed when you gain a charge, and it's good with Surging Wildfire, right? Because you can, like, give it +4/+4 and then attack with it, so you can trigger its damage. This might end up being a Grandfather Oak deck, actually. Just, like, play Rock Slider in the fair manner. Or maybe this just ends up not even making the cut for us, depending on how the rest of our deck ends up shaping out. If we do end up being Grandfather Elk, we kind of wouldn't mind having the Scrap Tooth Nasher package, because how our troops are aligned becomes less important then. We're already up to like 9 theoretical playables with this in large. That's kind of medium, so... Yeah, definitely. Depends on how the rest of this rounds out here. It'd be sick if... I think this next pack would have 5 cards left, so if that other Rock Slider's going to wheel, it would be in this pack here, so... Moment of truth? I'm almost certain someone would have picked it up, just because, like, they'd like the same reason we took the coins. It's going to be one of the most playable cards left in the pack. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but not unsurprising. I guess I'll just, none of these cards are particularly good. I'm gonna grab the Blood-Eye Defiler, because this card's really good against aggressive decks like what I'm playing, so I really don't want to play against it. Yep, basically. In case we get something powerful we want to splash down the line, Roidbot can enable that. I've definitely played more than my fair share of Roidbots in drafts, as yesterday's 3-shard deck showed. Still Relentless Outmates in here. I'm not playing the Depot Draco, so I'm just going to cut someone off that might end up wanting to play that. There's one of those in the last pack, too. Blood must be pretty open, based on like how late some of these cards are going. And, like, we more than met our quota for playable cards out of that pack, so... let's open some more bombs here. Another Surging Wildfire would be insane. Oh, ask and you shall receive, Mr. Hoagland. We have a Slash and Dash here, which says it creates a Lionel the Slashing and a Reginald the Dashing, which this creates 2/2/1s, and one of which says your Ardent Troops have Swift Strike, which includes himself, and the other one says your Ardent Troops have Speed. You need to say hi, Declan. Say hi to the draft. Hi draft. So this creates 4 power with Speed and Swift Strike for 4 resources, and then it makes all of our other Ardent Troops have Speed and Swift Strike. So if we follow up Slash and Dash with Fire Soul Gemsworn, her and the other 3 ones she makes will have Speed and Swift Strike. This pack's actually really good for us in general. I would be really excited if the Pyre Strike or the Monk come back around to us. Would be acceptable if the Stalagamage comes back around. So ideally one of these 2 uncommons is going to come back to us, but we definitely are taking the Slash and Dash here.
I hope there's another Scratchy Dash in the next pack.
That card's mediocre even when you have a lot of them. Just like clunky and slow. Man, this pack's pretty good for us too. There's a Feed the Flames here, and there's a Flame Guard, and there's an Arena Regular if we end up in the Charges Matters deck. I feel like I'm just supposed to take the Feed the Flames here. I don't actually have any removal in the deck yet, so that's probably the pick. If we're really fortunate, the Flame Guard will come back around. We'll see. These are the cards I'm passing here. Unfortunately, getting 2 strong packs with Ruby cards in a row when we're already in Ruby is sending the message to the people that we're passing to that, like, hey, maybe you should be moving into Ruby. But I'm going to send that message regardless of what I take out of this pack, and I think we're hurting for removal a little bit more than we're hurting for anything else. And then, you know, you get kicked in the dick with a pack like this that's just like, you know, there's nothing particularly good in either of our shards in here. Eager Lackey's probably one of the better wild commons in the set, so I think we're just going to go ahead and pick that up. Warp Steel, Shardsworn, and Diamond Saver are both very reasonable uncommons in their shards, and then Cerulean Sage is a good common, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and pick up the Eager Lackey here, and I think we're just, like, firmly off the Rock Slider plan at this point. I've got enough, like, non-unaligned troops, and now we're adding Underworld troops to the mix that we're not going to be on the Ardent Matters Marzul plan, and this is probably just going to be a,
Do not hate your brother.
what's it called, deck, the Grandfather Elk. So look at this pack here. We have an Arena Regular and a Furious Blitzer here. I think Arena Regular is fair. You want that? No, you don't know what you want. Okay. I think Arena Regular is pretty playable even when you're not in the Charges Matters archetype. It's just like a 2-1 for 1 that allows your resources to provide a little bit of reach. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up just on the off chance we end up getting enough cards to move back into the Charges Matters deck. But I think this is playable regardless of which of the 2 decks we end up in. Hi. Yeah. There's nothing very exciting in either of our thresholds in this pack. You want that? Yeah, you wanted the pen? Oh, toddlers. Yeah, nothing super exciting in here. I think objectively the best card is either the Strike Force Sergeant or the Storm Rider. We have a couple of things that kind of care about Valor already, so I'm going to pick up the Strike Force Sergeant on the off chance we want to splash some Diamond. Like, if we get past, like, an Ardent Officer in the 3rd pack, we might move into Diamond. This pack has an Explosive Interlude and a Blitz in it. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Blitz just because, like, we have this Surging Wildfire already. But the I guess we are fairly light on removal, right? So, yeah, I'm going to grab the Interlude because we're pretty light on removal. You're obnoxious, toddler.
Did we do this so that they couldn't climb on it?
Yes. This pack's not super exciting, because we're probably not in the Charges Matters archetype. Sparkle Cap's actually pretty reasonable because we could put the Valor Gem in it, and that's a Valor generator for, like, the Iotachi Cavalry here. We might, if we get lucky, we could see an Apprentice Earthcaller come back around. That'll also reward us for playing a couple of Valors. We're more likely to see Valor producers in the set 5 pack, pack 3, so if we can get a couple of more Valor payoffs in this set, we'll be more prioritized to pick those up. This, like, kind of cares about art and things, but not really. It's just like, this is a powerful card, regardless of what the makeover of your troops are, I think.
You're gonna get stuck.
There's a Sparkle Cap here, and there's an Iotachi coins, and we also have a Crossing Swords. This pack's pretty good for us, right? Like, there's a Howling Plains runner at the top end, too. We definitely have more than enough top end in this deck so far. We actually don't have that many things that are particularly large enough for Crossing Swords to work with. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pick up another Sparkle Cap here, just so we could stick a Valor Gem in it and call it a day. Yeah, the coins get significantly worse when, the coins are significantly worse when we're not in the Charged Matter Dark type. And we have the Apprentice Earthcaller that I talked about being a possible Valor payoff here, but we actually have the Monk in this pack as well, which is a 3/3 for 3 with Diligence, gets +2/+2 and Spell Shield till the next turn. I actually think this is one of the better uncommons for Wild in this format, and it's particularly good with Grandfather Elk, because, like, you can make it a 6/6 and smash through whatever potential blockers they have that could stonewall a 3/3, and then it's a 5/5, it can generally continue smashing all on its own. I guess Feral Root Tactics is, like, theoretically a Valor payoff, too, which makes me happy to have these Sparkle Caps. This gives the troop you're targeting +4/+4 crush until end of turn if it is Valorous. In this pack, there isn't anything too particularly exciting. Swordsmith Engineer's like, okay, I guess. Diligence, gain a charge, and it can randomly have speed, so I guess I'll pick that up. It's an uncommon that's playable in our thresholds. There's no guarantee that we're gonna play it. Like, if we have a good Ruby pack for our pack 3, this will probably be one of the cards that we're looking to upgrade along with, like, this Enlarge, but for now, it turned out pretty well. There's an Apprentice Earthcaller, there's another Valor payoff, so 10 out of 10 gonna pick that up. I'm going to go ahead and actually hide the Enlarge and the Swordsmith Engineer for now. Just wait and see what else comes around. We're already at 16 playables plus a coin here, so well on track to hit the 22 to 23 playables we're looking to have at the end of the draft. Nothing too exciting in this pack. Nothing that I've ever... I think I've registered this card in draft once. The rest of these are all pretty mediocre as well. Let's go ahead and snake one of those up. Again, nothing too particularly exciting here. Tail of Carnage is actually kind of sweet with Raging Wildfire, but that's probably a little ambitious. Diligence, the troop gets +3 power permanently, so usually a Surging Wildfire is enough to more than end the game on its own, so it probably doesn't need any extra help. I'll grab the Silencing Sneak here, just like Scrounge 2, destroy target opposing constant. 10 out of 10 will board this in if we play against like a Blood Spinner Zorath deck, or occasionally people are playing 2 Tomahawks in this format. Mokuna Lookout is occasionally playable, not in our deck, but in other people's it might be. Wow! The Howling Plains Runner came back around. When this deals damage to a champion, get a Valor. Just 5/5. I was not expecting to see that come back around. I guess it's a little expensive, but it's a very powerful top-end card, especially in a deck like this. Alright, let's open some bombs. Show me the Lava Shapers! Show me the Lava Shapers! Alright, well, we didn't get a Lava Shaper. We didn't get any removal. Man, what a sad pack. I guess we could play the Deranged Marauder. This is a 3/3 for 5 that whenever a troop we control attacks at random, it gets -1 cost, +1 attack, or +1 defense. That's probably objectively the best card in our shards in this pack. I guess we could also just take the Bolt Spasm, though, which is like a really aggressive card. Yeah, I guess I do kind of want to drag the curve down a little bit, huh? Sure. Yeah, Bolt Spasm's probably fine. I don't hate that.
That's funny. Halloween train.
All right, there's still time. I believe in the Lava Shapers. We got 7 packs, boys and mom, boys and girls, boys and wife.
Okay, I see it, Jake. I see.
Declan, what do you think? Lava Shapers?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to tell me if there's a Lava Shaper in this next pack, Declan. Okay. No, you want the train on the tablet?
Yes.
I need you to channel your toddler energy into a Lava Shaper. We need Lava Shapers, Declan. All the Lava Shapers. Lava Shapers in the next 3 packs. The next 4 packs, there's going to be Lava Shapers. Declan, you didn't channel your energy hard enough. We didn't get a Lava Shaper. So, This pack's actually kind of stacked for us, right? We've got a Spring Dancer here, which is just like a strictly better Sparkle Cap in this deck. It's a 2-2 that makes a Valor as opposed to a 2-1 that makes a Valor. There's this Rollicking Reveler here. 5-4, Crush for 4. Whenever an opposing champion plays an artifact or constant, deals 5 damage to them. We wouldn't mind playing the Rollicking Reveler, but our curve kind of wants to be a little bit lower in an aggressive deck, and the Rollicking Reveler is far more likely to wheel than this Spring Dancer is, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the Spring Dancer up, and we're going to hope the Battlefield Ironsmith or the Rollicking Reveler wheel back around to us here.
Rollicking Revelers are rare. It's not gonna wheel.
It's not worth anything.
That's okay. People just like having rares.
People just like having rares, yep. It's less true in the set 5 pack because people have been playing the set for longer.
Ow.
Man, these packs have been, like, aggressively mediocre for us. We need a few more playables out of this pack, and we are not getting them so far. I suppose we've got, like, this Enlarge and the Swordsmith Engineer we could play, but I'm not looking forward to it. This pick here is either between the Stinkhorn and the Smash Magus. I feel like we don't have quite enough top end yet that the Smash Magus could be reasonable. The Stinkhorn's like a pseudo-removal spell, though, and we don't have a lot of removal. We only have 1, 2, so yeah, I guess we'll pick the Stinkhorn up. This is probably one of the cards we're going to be looking to hopefully upgrade before we finish our deck out if the rest of this pack is reasonable, but you know, still got, you know, 3 or 4 more packs here to open some Lava Shapers. I feel like with the amount of Ruby cards that we've ended up with here, we're fighting with other people for that shard. Speaking of bombs, we have a Titanospore here. 7-1. When it deploys, it creates 7 Dreadlings and puts them into your hand. Sacrifice another Shroomkin. This gets invincible till end of turn. So this basically gets to attack 7 times with the Dreadlings. It's a little clunky and awkward. I don't really know that we're looking for that big of a top end. How many Ardent Troops do we have before turn 3? We have 1 Spring Dancer, 1 Minstrel, 1 Cavalry, 1 Regular, so that's 4. It's probably a little bit light for this Battlefield Ironsmith to be reasonable in all honesty. I think the Iotachi Brute's probably the pickup here. We're not going to have quite enough Ruby thresholds to cast this Fireball consistently, which is a little bit sad. This is a 4-3 for 4 that whenever a troop control attacks, it gets -1 cost. And we definitely have enough 1s and 2s that we're going to be consistently be able to play this on the 3rd turn. This pack's not too exciting. Much like the Fireball, we're not going to be able to consistently play this Clobberdon on the 3rd turn of the game, so I don't think we want to pick that up. The Smash Magus is probably reasonable, just like as a 3-3 that could upgrade to a 6-6 in the mid to late game after we traded off a bunch of troops. The curve is high. This deck probably wants 18 thresholds. Or 18 shards. We just like want to get to like Surging Wildfire pretty consistently. Another thing that's worth noting is that having a higher curve makes our Trueheart Skirmisher much, much worse because you're more likely to draw a card you're not going to be able to play with it. That being said, as we talk about our curve being high, we get past an Acolyte of Shoku, which is a rare that accelerates us and makes Tridling. Yep, and this is a good sign too, because like 5 people have seen this pack, and none of them took this wild rare that's very playable in this format. So I think we definitely read right that we should be in wild. I'm gonna hide this Trueheart Skirmisher for now. I don't think we're playing that. This pack's kind of mediocre. Rust-Tongue Lasher is probably the pick. You choose either between Corrosive Spit to destroy an artifact or Lang Tongue to give it Skyguard. That's probably playable. We've only got 1 more pack here that we haven't seen yet, so the odds of getting a Mama Yeti are next to none.
It's still 1 drop, 1 with speed.
That's not good enough. It's either between the Rust-Tongue Lasher or the Poison Arrow. I'm not sure that either of them are going to make the main deck cut, honestly, and I think I'm slightly more likely to want to board in a Rust-Tongue Lasher at some point, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I think on the back of Acolyte of Shoku, we can probably get away with 18 resources in this deck, or 17 resources. There's a Rusted Rune here, which is a perfectly serviceable reserves card. Destroy target artifact or constant. Randomly summon some Dreadlings, sometimes it's upside. So as is, this is 23 non-resources, and we've got 1 resource plus another 16. So 17. This feels okay. This deck feels like a D- maybe. Solid C average. Yeah, I don't know that we really need the fixing from Ardent Decree, but I'm not sure that we're honestly going to play anything else in this pack. We don't need any more expensive cards. With all that considered, I think the most playable cards in this pack are Leyline Purifier, Duskqueen Maiden, and Veiled Lurker. So I think I'm just going to cut one of those. Sapphire cards haven't really been coming around, so someone will probably pick up and want to play that. At this point, we're looking for upgrades for cards that we already have here. The Rust Tongue Lasher is kind of medium, so that's the first one I'm going to look to upgrade, or possibly the Stinkhorn.
Wow, that's the 4th Thorn Pup in this pack, or in this 3rd pack thing.
Shame we didn't see any cats.
Yeah.
I the Battlefield Ironsmith is a really reasonable card, but we just I don't think we have enough. I've got 1, 2, 3. This is 4 technically. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I have 10. That's probably fine. It's probably better than Rust Tongue Lasher. Nothing super exciting in here. I'm going to take Prejudice in honor of my... This is one of Christy's favorite cards. It's so bad.
I didn't say it was my favorite. I said it's not bad.
It's awful. It's unplayable.
You're unplayable.
I am largely unplayable. How many scrounge cards did we end up with? Is it like just the Smash Magus? I guess Dread Harvest is probably better than Stinkhorn.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No, Stinkhorn is really good.
We have one scrounge card here at our top, and is that the only scrounge card? It's our only scrounge card. Yeah, I don't know if Dread Harvest is even worth it. It might be worse than Stinkhorn. You're right. This Enlarge could also be playable. How many troops do we have? We got a good number of troops here, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's a poison arrow, sure. This deck's got a ton of troops in it.
Body him.
That's the plan. It's got 2 pieces of removal and a combat trick here. Kind of wish the way our curve ended up that at one point we took a... nope, not that. We took this explosive interlude over a blitz, and the way this deck ended up, I definitely feel like I would have preferred to have the blitz in the deck. I think we have enough troops in the deck that I'm going to play this Enlarge in the main over the Stinkhorn. It's like want another combat trick when we're attacking. Enlarge is also very good with our Surging Wildfire that we ended up picking up. So I'm going to go ahead and take Grandfather Elk as the champion. Must have missed him.
Right there.
Sockets. So we got 2 Sparkle Caps here that I mentioned while we were drafting. Then we're going to put some Valor Gems in. And we've got a Fire Soul Gemsworn here. I'm going to put Swift Strike in her. Usually if I can't put Flight in the Fire Soul, I like to put Swift Strike in her. Let's look at our costs here. We don't have any double Ruby. We have 1 double Ruby card and a bunch of double Wild. I think we want probably just 9-8 then. I could see 10-7 even being right since we only have 1 double Wild card and our Champion Power requires or we only have 1 double Ruby card and our Champion Power requires double Wild, but 9-8's probably fine. With the 8th Ruby obviously being the Iotachi coins here. So we've got the 17 resource is a little bit light for how high this curve is, but we've got the Acolyte of Shoku here and the Ashwood Minstrel to help like jump us up the curve a little bit. So I think this is going to be plenty reasonable. I don't know. We'll have to hang out and play some games. At any rate, thank you everyone for watching today's Draft Today draft. Remember that there are matches in store for you just coming up soon. It should be the next video on the playlist. And remember, if you enjoy today's videos, to like them on YouTube and share them on your social media. You can also support my content by subscribing on Twitch for $49 a month or becoming a patron on Patreon for varying amounts. There's information on how to do both of those things and the rewards that you get for doing them below the stream. You can also support the videos by supporting my sponsor, HexPrimal.com. They love to sell you some Hex TCG singles. And if you do so on their site with the code Jeff5, you will get 5% off your order in addition to supporting my content here. Thanks for watching, folks, and stay tuned for some gameplay and then followed by wrap up.